I'm Helena. I'm here to do the makeup session. I feel a lot more comfortable because the first one I was really nervous. So I'm here to like show you guys tips and tricks and stuff. Like we don't have time to like show you guys the whole full face, but I'm gonna talk you through it as I do it on her. I'm gonna show you guys like a really natural eye look, and then a really a little bit more of a, not like complicated, but it's a little more bolder of a look on her other eye. And then I'm going to show you guys how to cover up like dark circles, because I know a lot of us struggle with covering up dark circles under our eyes and around our mouth. And yeah, so before I do that, I'm going to tell you a little about myself. I'm 21. I'm in nursing school right now, and God willing, I'll graduate in May. I was not always into makeup like this. I wear like full face a lot, like whenever, like at church and stuff. Before I did not. The only thing I used to wear was like eyeliner from like middle school and high school. I didn't know how to do anything else, but I really struggled with like body image issues and stuff. I struggled with like acne all of high school, but I don't know why I didn't like do anything about it then. I just, went out with it, but I hated like looking at it. And so I feel like makeup like made me feel a lot more comfortable in my skin, like the fact that I could cover it up. And like I feel like it's okay to, if there's something like for me, I feel like it really enhances your beauty. You don't need it, but I like to wear it. And so I started like experimenting and stuff when I started college. Like my freshman year, I used to watch a little like makeup tutorials and stuff. And that's when I got my like first foundation and started like practicing on like my friends and roommates and stuff. They were like really encouraging about it, like really pushing me to do it and stuff, because before I was like more like, oh, I just want to do it for myself, and I made like that Instagram account, but like no one knew about it, and then like it became like a big deal because my friends would like boost me to everyone. And then yeah, so then I started like doing it on people. Like people would like be like, a lot of my sister's friends would ask me to do their makeup for like homecoming and stuff, and it was really cool because I really like the fact that like after you're done, like the people's like faces like feel so like they feel so much happier, and like they feel like beautiful, and like they already are, but the fact that I was able to help them feel even more comfortable in their own skin like is a really cool like feeling. And I feel like how they were talking in the WOW talks, like everyone has their own unique talent and stuff. I wouldn't say this is my talent, like I'm not a pro or anything, but I feel like this is something that like God has given me that's really unique about me, because I grew up like having friends that were really good at singing or like instruments and sports, and I'm not good at any of those things. And like this just became like a thing, and I feel like this is something that God has given me to like make me a unique person myself. What else? I was saying earlier in the session that like I've met a lot of cool people through it. Like Freya, I didn't know her before, but I through Tabitha, like I met her like the day she came over for me to do her makeup, which is really cool that I get to meet people through it. And yeah, so I think that's it that I wanted to say. So, okay, so for her face, I'm going to start like walking. I'm going to walk you through her face of how I would do my own makeup and like the things I do and products I use and stuff. And makeup isn't like a one-size-fits-all type of thing. It's like how you want to do it yourself. So if I do something one way, you don't have to do it. That's not like the right way. Like you can mix and match, be creative, whatever. So if I were doing her whole face, I would start with primer, and primer is like this little sticky substance, little serum type of thing that you put on your face that helps your face become it's like a base for the foundation if you wear foundation. So you would put that on all over your face. There are some that like smooth out your pores, so like for me, I have like little bumps and stuff from my like acne scars and stuff, and like if you use like smoothing primers, or I had something here, I don't know where it is. It's like a professional thing, and it really targets your pores. If you use that, it helps smooth out the base before you put on foundation. And so I start with primer. Then for foundation, I would use, people usually use like a shade lighter than them or a shade a little darker than them, because it's really hard to find your perfect match with your perfect undertone. And if you didn't know, Sephora offers free samples for you to try. They match your skin in case you wanted to find like your perfect match and test it before you buy it. The foundation I use for my face is Maybelline. It's like this $5 drugstore brand. It's really good. It's like, I think it's worth the $5. It's not like, it's like you don't need to buy the really expensive stuff to like have something that works really good. And so I have really oily skin, so I use the matte version, so that really helps like keep the oils in, even though sometimes it's still like, can't help it. Some people have really dry skin. If you have dry skin, it's like better to use like a moisturizing primer or moisturizing foundation. It really helps not make your skin not look cracked and peely underneath like the foundation, you know. You can like see the cracking and peeling if you don't like keep your face moisturized. And so it's really good to start off with that. And then for the foundation, when I apply it, I would use like a flat brush and like blend it out, or you can use like a beauty blender. It's like a little sponge, and so you would squeeze that with water. Thought I had one here. Don't. So you squeeze that with water, and then you would place the foundation onto your face and blend it out. And so the key to foundation is really like blending it out so there's not like random spots or like it's thicker than the other side or different colors and stuff. And a lot of people don't know this, but you're supposed to blend it down your neck, because when you wear shirts or saris or churidars or whatever that are like open here and your color isn't exactly the same as your face, it's noticeable that your neck is a different color than your face. It's like kind of like a dramatic little difference. So it's really good to blend it down, and then above your like forehead and into your hairlines and stuff, and even your ears, so that it all looks like natural and not like you just put like a random color on your face type of thing. And so so you would start with foundation, and then after that there's concealer. If you have really dark circles, or if you just want your eyes to look a little brighter when people look at your room pictures and stuff, you would put that underneath here. Some people like to draw those like little palm tree lines and stuff all over your face and like do like little designs and stuff. But I just keep it under. Sometimes you can do like down the middle to make your nose look a little slimmer. And yeah, and then after that you would set your face with powder. So I have a bunch of powders here for you guys to look at. The type of powder you use is like, you have to buy like the type that doesn't, like when you take flash photography, it's sometimes some of the powders are noticeable in the pictures. So like HD finishing powders and stuff, like I think that's what it's called. Those are the ones that like make your face not look ghostly in pictures. And so I have a couple here that really work for me that you guys can look at. And then so you set your face after foundation and concealer, and that's to keep it all like locked into your face so that it doesn't like move around, or if like you touch your face it doesn't like immediately come off type of thing. It helps like lock it in. And so I don't know if you guys have like experienced this, after you put on powder, like your face looks like either like cakey or like really like powdery and stuff, right? Has anyone experienced that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so to fix that, a little trick you can do is spray, like, it could just be water. I use this Mario Badescu spray. It's like $7. You spray it all over your face, and it helps melt in that powder into your face, but it still keeps it locked in. And like immediately after you spray it all over, like you can tell the difference from like the powdery look is gone, and your face looks a lot more natural. And so that's like a little trick to do. And so now I'm going to demonstrate on her how to cover up your under eyes with concealer. Does anyone know what color correcting is? If you do, raise your hand. Okay.
Oh, I have to explain it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay. So it's like when you use like another color, like an orange or like kind of like a dusty like pink, and like you put it underneath your eyes and you like kind of blend it in, so that way like the color contrasts with your skin and it makes your face like look brighter.
Wow, great explanation. You are my friend.
I didn't know this before I met her.
Here. This is for you. Presents for people that answer questions. So like she said, orange, I have orange here. That's what I'm going to use on here. This is a color that neutralizes the brown. I took art in high school, so this is how I know this is like an actual thing. The opposite of orange was purple. No, wait, hold on.
Good.
Opposite of orange was blue, I think. And so, like, the darkness is like, there's like underneath, like little color under your like brown skin. Like, you know how like your vein, sometimes you can see your vein underneath your dark circles. It's like those, that's how it like neutralizes it out. If you have acne and like a lot of redness on your face, to cancel that out, you use green. And I have that here too. I have a lot of redness, so I use that sometimes. And so what you have to do is apply this before you do your foundation. That's the like best way, so that it's not obvious that you're wearing orange. Because I was telling them earlier, when I first was experimenting with color correcting and stuff, I had done my whole makeup and then did the concealer part and tried to blend this out, but it didn't blend out completely. So when I got to church, my uncle was like, "Why are your eyes orange?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I went to the mirror and it wasn't blended. So that was the problem. So it's best to do underneath, so you can cover it all up, and then add everything on top. Yeah, it was really embarrassing. But yeah, so this is the concealer. This is a NYX concealer. So what you would do, I'm going to do just this eye so you guys can see the difference. So what you're going to do is place it underneath that dark spot, and you can also do this around your mouth because I know a lot of us struggle with that here too. You're going to place it underneath, and then you can blend it out with a brush or with your finger because the warmth of your finger really helps blend it out. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so we're going to blend it out. And then it's still a little orangey, but I'm covering it and it's okay for right now. So I'm going to use this concealer. And usually you would use a concealer that's like close to your skin for this part. You don't want the lightness, brightness effect yet. And so this matches a little. So you're going to place it on top and extend it on top of that orange part where it is. And then blend that out with your finger or brush or whatever you would like to like place it on top, and it really like brightens it. Look up a little and like get that under part so there's not like any difference in how it looks. So that's how it look. If you guys can't see, please feel welcome to like come up or whatever. Yeah, so it like made type. Do you guys see the difference?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay.
Can you do me? I feel like that I'm like getting heavier.
Dead. Okay, so this is how it's supposed to look. This is the difference. And so what you're supposed to do with the concealer, like I said earlier, you're supposed to set it so it doesn't like crease up. If I just left it, do you see these creases under her eyes? It would look really like the product would get in between those creases. And so you want to set it as quickly as possible. Look up. And so you would do that with the powder and just push on it. And it really keeps that product in place. So I think there's a little bit of eyeshadow in here. That's why it like got a little darker. But so you would use a clear powder. And so another thing is if you want to do your eyeshadow, something you could like knock out two birds with one stone type of thing is instead of just placing it underneath, you can like bring it up to your eyelid. And so putting concealer onto your eyelid really helps, like it's like a base for your eyeshadow. So like that, you just like blend it all across like this. And so it doesn't matter if this color is like lighter or darker and stuff because you're covering it with eyeshadow anyway. Just the stickiness of the concealer really helps make the powder stick onto your eye more. And so for this eye, I'm going to do a more subtle like golden eye because I know a lot of us, like a lot of our parents and stuff are like, oh, no bright colors, no makeup, whatever. And so this is just going to be a really natural golden eye. And so if you guys want to wear this to like a wedding or whatever, or just that like occasional time that you want to try makeup, this is really easy to do. And so I'm using this palette right here. You can use any palette that has the colors you want. And so the way I start is with like a gold all over the lid. So I'm using this color right here. Okay, and so you're going to go all the way across on the lid. Just cover the whole lid. And so you're going to just bring it all the way across, basically cover the whole, open your eyes real quick. Yeah, so you're going to cover the whole lid. Was it? Yeah. And so you could either leave it like that, just the gold, or you could add a little bit of depth by adding a darker color into the crease. So I'm going to do this little brown color right here. And so that just defines it, it makes it not as like two-dimensional type of thing. It's just not one color. Like it adds a little bit of like definition and like depth into the look. And so where you would put this is the crease, which is the part where the edge of your eyeball ends. And so when you open your eye, that little crease right here is what you call the crease. And so you would just pack, if you want it like a lot or a little, so I'm just going to put a little here and you would blend it across. And so what you want for this is for it to look like it's a gradual like gradient type of look. and you don't want it to be like a dramatic like switch to the next color type of thing, so that's why you want to blend. It's like really important to do that. Can everyone see? Okay, so, and if it does look too much, like let's say you picked up too much color on your brush, then you can go back over it with the color, so it just cancels it out type of thing. And so I'm gonna do that. So you just go back over it so it doesn't look as like dramatic, and just keep like switching back and forth to blend it. And so that's it for that eye. That was simple, right? Okay. So the next eye, I'm gonna do a different type of look, kind of like the same concept, but a little more complicated. Does anyone know what a cut crease is? Raise your hand if you can tell me. You get a prize. Cut crease? Yes? No? You guys look like you know it. No?
You cut the crease in half.
Basically. That's basically what it is. Okay, here. That is what it is. Literally what it sounds like. So, the crease, like I said, that's what you're going to be cutting. Like literally what she said, that's what you're doing. And so I'm going to demonstrate that to you guys. So for this eye, I'm going to do a little bit more of a dramatic look. And so it's like fall, winter, so I'm going to use a burgundy color in her crease. So for this eye, I'm going to reverse how I did it. So for this eye, I did the lid first, right? For this eye, I'm going to start with a crease, and so it's okay if this gets messy because, like she said, we're going to cut the crease. So I'm going to do this burgundy color right here and mix it with this brown, so it's like a darker reddish, like burgundy color. And so it's okay if this gets messy. You're going to start in that same area where the crease is and just bring it across and then into this outer V, like this outer part of your eye is what you call the V. And I'm going to like drag that across and just fill it with color. And it's okay if it looks messy. So, and make sure you blend it out so after it doesn't look like that dramatic color either. So mixing that still. Okay, so this looks messy, right? So to clean it up, that's what I'm gonna do to cut the crease. So how you do that is with a brush like this, like a more precise brush. This is an angled little concealer brush or a brow brush. You would use this with concealer, and so you need the preciseness because the way you cut your crease is like along that line, and you want it to be like that perfect shape, and this really helps make it more defined. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. So on the edge of your eyelid, where that crease is, that's where you're going to do it. But some people have different eye shapes, like hooded and regular eye shapes. So hooded eyes are like when you open your eyes and you can't see your lid at all. And so that like it makes it really hard for people that wear eyeshadow because it's like you can't see that color they put anyways. So for them, if you do a cut crease, you start a little above where you would originally, how the like the crease would end. So you would do it a little above so you can see the color on them. But for her, like look straight, you can still see her lid. So she doesn't really have the hooded eye thing, so I'm just gonna start where her crease actually ended. So for that, I'm just gonna start, like sometimes you can see it, and so I'm just following that line right there. And like I said, this color, it doesn't have to be your own. Like if it's too light, it's totally okay because you're covering it with eyeshadow anyway. So I'm following it across. I'm gonna make it into like a wing shaped over here. And then drag it back into her eye like that, and then just fill it in with the concealer. And so you're gonna go all the way across, and then try not to get back into the area that you had cut. Like don't go above where the liner cut is. So you're gonna go all the way across with concealer and fill it all in. And then if it gets messy, like if this line is like crooked or something, you can go back with the shadow and fill it in and then just recut it again. So it's really, it's not hard to do. And if you make mistakes, it's not hard to go back and fix it either. So it's not as hard as it looks. So So I filled that all in, and I have that little line there. So after that, you would just pack it on with shadow. So for this eye, instead of gold, I'm going to use more of this like bronzy color right here and pack it on. And so you're just going to follow that line and then try not to cover. Try not to like go back over the line you cut already. So it keeps it more crisp and clean of a look. And so in comparison, this eye was more of like a gradual ombre effect type of thing, and this is like a cut, so it makes it a little more dramatic of a look, but it's still really pretty. And drag that across. And just make sure you get every part that you filled in. And so, can everyone see this? So it's more of a dramatic, hold on. Okay, just like that. So that's how it should look. Okay. And so now I'm gonna try eyeliner. Earlier I was a little like shaky on it, so we'll see if it turns out as good this time too. So for this eye, I'm gonna try and do a little wing, like a thin wing, and then this eye, it's just gonna be like a little straight across the line type of liner. So if you guys can't see, you're free to walk up and see. So the way I do winged eyeliner looks on myself and people, hold up for me, is I start on the edge and like draw that line first and then bring it back. And so it started like really far off, then I'll like, from this little edge right here, can everyone see? Okay, so I'm gonna like drag it back across and just fill in backwards as I go. Okay, close. And if you mess up, it's okay because you can go back over with the eyeshadow and cover it up. And so far this is okay. And so it just depends on how far you want your wing back, so you can just keep dragging it how you please. So I'm just gonna keep it at this length right here. And so this is like a thin liner look. Can everyone see it? It's a little messy on the end, but it's okay. Yeah, and then so for the other eye, I'm gonna try and make it a little bit of a thicker look so you can see the difference in like different liner thicknesses, because it all looks different on people's eyes. For some people, if their lids are really small and you do thick, it just covers their whole lid. If you do thin, it like adds that little subtle like little pop. For her, she has pretty big eyes, so the thicker one I feel like would help make her eyes look bigger. The thin one makes it really like subtle and nice. Okay, so for this one, since I'm trying to do it a little thicker, I personally start in the middle so I can like draw the thickness I want and bring it out or to the front. So that's what I'm gonna do for her. So I'm starting in the middle and just bringing it back this way. And then going back towards the inner corner again. Okay. Okay, so that's how it should look. I didn't draw out a wing on this eye, just to show you guys the comparison. So this is a bit more, like a little bit more thicker than the other one. And so yeah, that's how I do it. What else? Does anyone know what highlighter is?
I know highlighter.
Raise your hand. Whoever. Tell me.
What is it?
Yeah, what is it?
It's like a highlight on your face. Like it's like illuminating, like sparkly.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so Basically, yeah. It's like what it sounds like. Okay, this is the last one I have left.
Thank you.
Okay, so highlighter is this little, you can get it in like liquid or powder. You put it on the parts of your face that like, when the light is on your face, you put it in the high points of your face so that it like draws light there and it glistens kind of. And so earlier, everyone said they could still see mine. I don't know if you still can or not. I'm wearing some. It's like, can you see it? No?
Yeah.
Okay, so you put it, I put mine on my cheeks, and I'll demonstrate on her how it's supposed to look. The way I put it, you can put it with a brush or your finger. I like using these type of colors, like golden bronzy, on our type of skin tone because it really helps like add that like glow for our skin tone. Because I feel like these colors are like a little, for our skin, it makes a little more like powdery look. It just looks like you left powder there unless you blend it out well. So for her, I'm just gonna use my finger. Turn your head. Smile real quick. Okay, so this is the high point of her cheekbone, and that's where I'm gonna put it. So, like that. And then you're gonna blend it out like that. And then depending on how intense you want, you would keep blending or so. So turn your head. Can everybody see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay, so that's how highlighter is supposed to look. I have some stuff here for you guys to swatch too. Do you know how much time I have left?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay. So, one more thing I'm going to show you guys is how to do brows, request of Michelle, because I have a little bit of time. So, for brows, a lot of people, when they, a lot of people have naturally thin brows and a lot of like spaces in between. So, I fill mine in with this brow pomade thing, and so this is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's a more like high-end brand, but they have like dupes for this product. They have like a NYX one. It's like $6 or $7, and it's like the same concept with this brow pomade or whatever. Or they have like a brush that has a little liner that you can just fill in. And so her eyebrows are done, and so the only places that I would want to like fill it in are the little sparse areas, because I don't want it to look too dark on her. And so a really like important thing, especially since we have like most of us have like black hair, you don't want to get black, because if you put black on your eyebrow, I used to put eyeliner before I knew that this thing existed, and that was too dark, and it's like a really drastic difference type of thing. And so this color is ebony, which is like a dark brown, a lighter brown color, and it really like fills in nicely. And so I'm going to show you guys the way I do it. So first I would like brush out her hairs, face straight. So brush out her hairs, and so this part right here is a little sparse in my opinion, and then right here, so I would fill in those areas. So I'm gonna do it for you guys and show you. So it looks like this. It's like a little gelish, like little thick cream thing. So you just want a little bit on your brush because you don't want it to look too intense. And so you can either just start by filling in those little sparse areas, or you can draw out the outline of your brow if you want it like a precise little arch or however you want it. So I'm just going to start in this little arch area right here and just draw little strokes slowly. But I'm following the shape of her eyebrow as well, because I don't want to like make a different shape or like too square or anything. So I'm just following the shape and then just going back across towards the front. And so especially in the front, that's how I am filling in, that's how I'm going to like make it like gradually fill in, because you don't want the whole thing to be like dark. So for me personally, I like doing it a little lighter here, darker, 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 like that. So right here you would do like lighter strokes, and then along the bottom, and then I'm just going to drag that all the way across. And if you accidentally get too much product, you can brush it out with this little brush right here, the spoolie, and just make sure it like spreads evenly onto her brow. Can you guys see a difference? 5 minutes? Okay. Do you guys see the difference? Okay, hopefully I explained that well. And Tabitha says we have 5 minutes left. So for these last 5 minutes, you guys are free to welcome to come up here and look at the stuff that I brought. I brought like lipsticks that are really good on, that I think are good on brown skin tones. Concealer. Concealers. She said yes because there's one color that I wear a lot, my sister wears a lot, and a lot of our friends have tried this and it happens to look good on everyone's skin tone somehow. It's like this brownish color. I'm wearing it right now. You guys are welcome to come swatch it. You can swatch my palettes, whatever. All I ask is, like, don't dig your fingers into it type of thing. But yeah, you guys are welcome to look at whatever, ask me questions, and I hope you guys learned something from this. Thank you. Thank you to my model, Amy.